two times the turnover of the table. So
Oh,
actually,
interesting.
restaurants which don't have alcohol, right? People think they're losing on revenue, but it's the other way around. I joined in the month of July, and I think the unfortunate attack it happened in the month of November 2016. So I was part of Taj. I was deputed to a restaurant called Golden Dragon. It's a Chinese restaurant where I was doing my training, which was completely gutted. पूरा खत्म हो गया था in the 26th level.
On today's episode, we have with us Ankit Gupta. But who is Ankit Gupta? Ankit is the founder of Burma Burma, a restaurant chain which has 10 plus outlets across India. And they have done over 50 crores in revenue in last financial year. Ankit also worked with Taj Hotel Mumbai from 2008 to 2011, where he witnessed the 26/11 attack very closely. And in podcast, he shared the story of how Taj employees recovered from the trauma of 26/11. This is also a podcast where you will get to know how to build a restaurant chain in India and how to build a brand around it. So, welcome to another episode of Just Curious podcast where we decode the mindset of our guest through curiosity. And in this podcast, I decoded the mindset of Ankit Gupta. Your father, your grandfather was in restaurant business. You like, as in your video, you said that you grew up in hotel only, right? So, uh, what are some of those things that you want to take from both your father and your grandfather that they did during their time, and now you are implementing in your own business?
Uh, yes. So my grandfather has not got it easy. ऐसा नहीं कि right at the age of I think 35 वो एक गुड़गांव हरियाणा गुड़गांव के एक छोटे से गांव है बल्लभगढ़ नाउ इट्स एन इंडस्ट्रियल टाउन वहां से वो पूरी फैमिली a family of 10 12 of them they had just left the village came to Mumbai in the 1950s you know and just to start something with the idea of starting something and that is the time when he got a licensed stall at one of the railway stations, a licensed food stall. And from there, his journey in the food space started. And, you know, he ran that very successfully. And alongside, he started to invest in few properties in the Mumbai area and he started to build some hotels and restaurants. So that's the reason my father also ventured into the line by assisting him running the restaurants and hotel along with his brothers. So that's the story of my father. So I am a third generation
Hmm.
hotelier restaurateur. Now, how did so that's only half the story. Now the other half is of my mother, right?
Hmm.
Nowhere belonging for from the hotel industry, but what mattered the most is her love of food and the background of Burma, the country. My grandfather from my mother's side, उनका जन्म बर्मा में हुआ था बर्मा अगेन जब ब्रिटिश रूल था बहुत सारे ट्रेडर्स जो है उनको ब्रिटिशर्स इंडिया नेपाल श्रीलंका सब जगह से बर्मा बुलाए थे और वहां पे उसके लिए my grandfather had visited there. So she stayed there for 25 years, and when because of the political situation there, they had to leave Burma overnight in the 1960s,
Hmm.
and that is the time when she came to Mumbai, and she met my dad, and they got married. So that is how both have been a very very big influence in my life. And what I've learned the most answering to your question from my granddad and my dad is how to run a business in a traditional mindset,
Hmm.
right? Not to do something which is very overboard. The cuisine, the concept can be modern, but the basic ethics should be traditional. It's a brick and mortar business. It's not like a tech business. And you have to connect with the guest. They have to be first thing and things have to be conceptualized around them. अब गेस्ट को ही अगर हटा दो इक्वेशन से then you may put in your time in something which it may not run.
Hmm. Right. True. So in traditional mindset, can you go a little bit more deeper on that कि traditional mindset में किस तरीके से जैसे आपने बोला कि of course human to human connection होना चाहिए, but apart from that.
Apart from that, basic things like इट्स अ रेस्टोरेंट, तो आपका सबसे अच्छा क्या रहना चाहिए? आपका खाना
हम्म
पहला। आप खाने को ही अगर हटा दोगे और कुछ यू नो धुआं आ रहा है कहीं से, ये आ रहा है और कुछ अटपटंग चीजें ले आओगे, तो डेफिनेटली उसका कोई फ्यूचर ही नहीं है। बिकॉज ओनली व्हाट आई हैव लर्न फ्रॉम देम इज टू रन रेस्टोरेंट फॉर डेकेड्स। माय ग्रैंडडैड, उन्होंने जो भी चीजें चालू की थी वो आज तक इट हैज द एस्टैब्लिशमेंट इज देयर। इट्स
हम्म
नॉट लाइक 2 साल चालू किया बंद किया, राइट?
हाँ
बिकॉज द विजन व्हाट दे हैव इज कि द ब्रांड शुड सर्वाइव यू। तो आप पुट योर टाइम, one has the most important thing asset one has is the time, not even money,
हम्म
is your time. तो आपका डेली आप जो चीजों में काम में आप जितना टाइम डालते हो, इट हैज टू हैव अ लॉन्ग लाइफ, राइट? सो दैट इज वन ऑफ द ट्रेडिशनल थिंकिंग। फूड हैज टू बी मेड बिकॉज रेस्टोरेंट लाइफ। सेकेंड इज रेस्टोरेंट पे लोग आ रहे हैं, तो योर सर्विस ऑल्सो हैव टू बी वार्म, राइट? हैज टू बी गेस्ट ओरिएंटेड, राइट? तो वो है। प्राइस शुड नॉट बी द रीजन फॉर पीपल नॉट टू कम। अगर आप बहुत ज्यादा प्राइस रख दोगे, तो अगली बार अगर उसको कितना भी अच्छा लगा रेस्टोरेंट या होटल, वो सोचेगा यार सब कुछ अच्छा है बट रेट ज्यादा है, तो यार आई कैन लुक एट ऑल्टरनेटिव्स।
हाँ
सो वी ऑलवेज इंश्योर्ड कि वी kept the price slightly competitive so that everyone could come. It's not for a certain category. So we
हाँ
made it thoda mass appeal, right? So these are the three, four things, you know, that we learned. And to be very hands-on, आप कितने भी टीम मेंबर्स ले लो, कोई भी ले लो, नो वन कैन रेप्लिकेट द पैशन एंड विजन जो ओनर के पास या फाउंडर के पास है।
हाँ ट्रू
बिकॉज इट्स addictive, you know, it spreads like wildfire, that passion. So you have to be hands on with the operations, with the team members, and that is the only way how businesses are built. So these are the learnings that I learned.
Right. So the thing that you said about, pricing and keeping it competitive and, so that's why you can attract to a master audience as well, right? But जो हम लोग रेस्टोरेंट में देखते हैं कि there is a limited capacity that you can serve at one point of time कि अगर आप आए तो दैट भी क्या 100 लोग एक साथ बैठ सकते हैं रेस्टोरेंट में, उससे ज़्यादा नहीं हो सकता, राइट? सो हाँ, so that is one of the biggest challenges of restaurant also, to not cater to a very much larger and big audience. So market size उसमें थोड़ा कम होता जाता है. So how can you uh, ensure that कि tables जो टर्न अराउंड टाइम है, मतलब लोगों को वेटिंग में बहुत ज़्यादा नहीं रहना पड़ता है और टेबल्स बहुत टाइम तक भी ऑक्यूपाई नहीं है. So how do you guys ensure उसमें क्या changes आए हैं over the years in restaurant industry? Because I have seen in some of the restaurants they are doing quite good job on that front. But अभी भी कुछ कुछ इंडस्ट्री में, अगर यहाँ पे भी मेरे लोकल रेस्टोरेंट में जाओ तो वहाँ पे मतलब 2-2 घंटे का वेटिंग होता है, वो सब होता है. So people then go and look for alternatives.
Right. So three, four things are there. Like
हाँ
in our restaurants, usually across all places, you know, there's a waiting time, and especially weekend time. Weekends में तो waiting बहुत ही ज्यादा हो जाती है. Then how do you manage? इसका आंसर है you can't manage because आपकी सीट्स तो उतनी है और
हम्म
100 जन की सीट्स है और 300 जन को वही दिन पे आना है, तो you cannot manage. But we take a certain waiting number of tables. अगर जैसे 10 या 12 हम लोग टेबल ले लेते वेटिंग करने के लिए, उसके ऊपर हम बंदी कर देते, बोल देते हैं कि सॉरी, वी आर फुल और वेटिंग भी बहुत है और आपको 1.5-2 घंटा रुकना पड़ेगा, विच यू नो इट्स नॉट एडवाइजेबल. Why we do that is that we don't want to overcrowd the restaurant,
right.
because when you over, because kitchen also has a capacity,
हम्म
राइट? वो अगर 100 जन का खाना बना सकता है, आप उनको बोल दो 150 जन का बना दो, अंदर टेबल डाल दो, तो इट विल नॉट बी एबल टू गिव क्वालिटी फूड.
हम्म
सर्विस विल ऑल्सो नॉट बी क्वालिटी सर्विस. 100 जन के लिए उन लोग टीम है और 150 जन आ गए और सबके अलग अलग रिक्वायरमेंट्स है. यू नो, वी आर अ वेरी नीडी पीपल.
yeah.
You know, we want people to serve us. We want small small things, chatpatas, namak le aao, ye le aao, right? So to attend to all of that, you know, you need to ensure ke aap overcrowd nahi karo, right? And you make the communication clear to the guests that, you know, Monday to Thursday, Fridays, you can take reservations, first slot, second slot, so you'll easily get a table. Or you come by 9:30, 10 o'clock, right? So they are all well informed, right?
Mm.
But apart from that, the only way you can manage is by opening more outlets, right? So that crowd
Right.
gets divided,
Mm.
which is not that easy because you need to get the right real estate, you need to have the funding. There are so many aspects to it, right?
Yeah.
One interesting, uh, you know, fact what I have learned and what we do. So a lot of people ask us, आप अल्कोहल नहीं रखते हो, आपका तो सेल कम हो जाता होगा, लोग तो खाली दारू में कमाते हैं. डेफिनेटली जो बाहर से दारू में कमाते हैं, राइट, बट जो रेस्टोरेंट्स हैं, राइट, आई डोंट अग्री कि बहुत सारे रेस्टोरेंट दारू में कमाते हैं, राइट. एनी गुड ऑर्गेनाइज सेक्टर में रेस्टोरेंट आप ले लो, 20 से 25% ही उनका सेल बेवरेजेस से आता है, जिससे 10 से 15% मस्ट बी अल्कोहल, राइट. बट व्हाट हैपेंस, जो गेस्ट 1.5 घंटा बैठता है, अगर आप अल्कोहल डाल दो तो वो 2.5 घंटा बैठे, और अल्कोहल आप निकाल लो तो वो 2.5 घंटे का 1.5 घंटे में उसका खाना होके ही लीव्स द रेस्टोरेंट. सो आई गेट 2 times the turnover of the table. So
Oh,
actually,
interesting.
restaurants which don't have alcohol, right? People think they're losing on revenue, but it's the other way around. The reason, if I put alcohol in the restaurant, my revenues will drop. So this is a one fact which I wanted to share with you.
So why it happens कि अल्कोहल के साथ they tend to stay longer?
Because then it's more of a social event.
हाँ.
When you come, you have a drink, then you wait. Again, you have your next course, then you call for one more drink, another drink, right? If you don't have alcohol, people come, sit, you just order for the food, food comes, you eat the food and you leave, right?
Right.
So that is
Hmm.
the reason we thought of not of doing away with alcohol.
हाँ हाँ, ये मुझे मालूम नहीं होगा because I am born and brought up in dry state, so
Exactly. Right.
so uh interesting. Then so you joined Taj in which year?
So, of course, having grown up in, with the influence of hotel industry and Burmese food will not necessarily mean that I am ready to open a restaurant or do business, right?
हाँ
That awareness I had. So, and I always felt that, you need to have a good formal training, practical training, a good know-how, and then you should venture into that. So I decided after my junior college that let me take hotel management. So I studied hotel management from Mumbai. After that, I said, "Abhi to, dad's business is always there. कहीं जा नहीं रहा है. कल भी है, परसों भी है, वो तो है ही, right?
हाँ
But before joining, and I have age on my side, right? Time with me. Why don't I learn? At others' expense. दूसरों के खर्चे में यार, let me learn little about the industry, a bigger setup.
हाँ
Not a small family-run restaurant or hotel. So I said, let me join a hotel. So luckily, I got selected for the Taj Management Training Program. And then next 3 years, I was with the Taj. I did my 1 year management training program in Aurangabad and Taj Mahal, Mumbai. And then I got deputed as a manager in Taj Mahal Hotel, Mumbai. That is around 2008 to 11. And that was the turning point in my life. Even today, jo bhi I do, I give credit to that experience of 3 years that I had with Taj, because it is one of the most leading hotels in the world,
Hmm.
right? So you're serving the needs of those guests. You're experiencing best of the best cheeses, right? A place like Taj is equal to luxury. That, and plus, it is one of the first hotel chains in the country, right? 100 साल से भी ऊपर that
ऊपर.
hotel was formed. It's a landmark. So imagine the processes it will have. And plus, it's backed by one of the biggest groups in India, Tata's, right? And for Tata's, money is a byproduct. For them, it's more the service, the culture, the processes. The company is such. And 3 years grinding in Taj, 17 hours, 18 hours, doing multiple night shifts, learning different cuisines, meeting, interacting so many people. from Taj is what really, got me somewhat ready
Mm-hmm.
to then join, my family business. But of course, while I was doing that on the background, there was always the influence of my mother, that is Burma. वो पूरी कहानी एक चल ही रही थी
चलती रहती है। हाँ,
कंटिन्यूअसली।
हाँ, हाँ,
बोला यार, बिकॉज आई बीन ईटिंग द फूड व्हाट शी मेक, जो बर्मीज खाना बनाते हैं, मतलब दूर दूर से माय फ्रेंड्स, माय रिलेटिव्स, दे स्पेशली कम वर नॉट फ्रॉम बर्मा जस्ट टू ईट माय मदर्स खाउसवे and the noodles and so many other dishes, the salads. And she in fact has a separate fridge which are only Burmese products, and they're
हाँ,
very unique, which you
हाँ,
only get in Burma,
हाँ,
and you don't get that taste anywhere. So I thought, यार ये country एक बार जाना तो पड़ेगा, because चलो, just that I eat Burmese food at home does not necessarily mean I can open a Burmese restaurant, right? अच्छा लगता है, but to open a restaurant there's so much more,
yeah,
right? And 2011 में, me along with one of my hotel management school friend, who's the head of kitchen operations at Burma Burma, he's been
हाँ,
with me. We are together since the last 14 years. I just told him, yeah, he's never been outside India that time.
हाँ,
While I was with my dad, I said, मैं कोई देश में जा रहा हूँ Burma, and Burma also was just opened up to the world. 2010 तक it was close to the world. There were sanctions in Burma. So I said, I'm going. He said, can I join you? I said, are you sure? मतलब लोग थाईलैंड जाते हैं, दुबई जाते हैं पहला ट्रिप में, और you would want to come to Burma and that.
हम्म,
So I said, think about it. He said, like, yeah, I don't mind coming. So both of us went to Burma, and we were taken to another world. It was like 30, 40 years back what India used to be. There was
oh,
no Coke, there was no Pepsi, there was no SIM card used to cost 35,000. I mean, it was very, very different, very, very pure, I must say, the people, because बनता वो दुनिया के लिए, एंड ये भी एकदम, मैं कोई 1990 की बात नहीं कर रहा हूँ, ये है 2010
2010 हाँ,
11। एंड मैं बोला यार, फिर देन वी सेड चलो, वी जस्ट वेंट फॉर 4 days, थोड़े डरे हुए थे, पहला ट्रिप था। तो देन वी वेंट, माय ब्रदर एंड फैमिली, दे लिव इन बर्मा, आई हैव रिलेटिव्स देयर, नॉट माय रियल ब्रदर। ही टुक अस अराउंड टू रेस्टोरेंट्स एंड कैफेज। वहां पे कोई रेस्टोरेंट का कॉन्सेप्ट नहीं था, वहां पे या तो लोग घर पे खाते हैं, या पे या फिर रोड पे ऐसे स्टॉल्स रहते हैं, वहां पे उन लोग खाते हैं।
हाँ,
So then we tasted the food, so many different varieties. फिर हम सोचे यार, ये जो हम इधर सैलेड खा रहे हैं उधर रोड पे, वो है इंडिया के टर्म में 10 रुपए का।
हम्म,
मतलब अभी बॉम्बे में रेस्टोरेंट खोलना है, अच्छी एरिया में चलाना है, तो यार 10 रुपए का हम लोग कैसे 500 रुपए में बेच सकते हैं, राइट?
हाँ,
So we can't just sell it for 500. Then it needs to have an experience. We need to get these authentic products, ingredients from Burma. We need to have a story, right? And that is when we came back to India, met so many chefs from Burma, brought in so many ingredients as sample ingredients, and we started to develop a product, a concept.
हम्म,
Having done that, we thought, yaar, अरे यार, I may be biased, घर पे बनता है, I may like it, but what if outsiders, they don't like it, right? It's something very new.
हाँ,
So that is the time we started doing pop-ups. फन एंड फेयर में छोटा बर्मा बर्मा का काउंटर डालते थे। घर से हम लोग रोज सुबह बनाते थे करी और नूडल्स और सैलेड, उसको ऐसे पूरा उसका वो डोंगा जो बोलते हैं उसको उठा के वी यूज्ड टू गो टू आनंद मेला, स्कूल का फन एंड फेयर, शादी का एग्जीबिशन, ऐसे हम लोग 10 से 12 पॉपअप्स किए और बर्मा बर्मा,
हाँ,
टू सी वेदर पीपल आर ईटिंग द फूड और नॉट। एंड एवरी टाइम वी यूज्ड टू डू अ पॉपअप, इट यूज्ड टू गेट सोल्ड आउट। मतलब 4 बजे अगर फंक्शन खत्म हो रहा है तो 1 बजे खत्म हो जाता है।
ओह,
फिर हम लोग वापस जाते थे, बंद करके काउंटर घर पे वापस बनाते थे, और 3 बजे हम लोग वी यूज्ड टू गो बैक अगेन टू द काउंटर टू सेल इट, और लाइन लगती थी लोग।
हम्म,
So having seen that, we started to have conviction in the food and the dishes. We said, no, yaar, even people outside are liking it.
हाँ,
Chalo. Now to start a restaurant in Mumbai, you need a lot of finance, right? How do you do that? And
हम्म,
I didn't want to ask 2 crore, 3 crore. money from my dad, and we also didn't have that much of you know, financial independence या financial bandwidth इतना था नहीं. So we said, now what do I do? And I said, if I want to make it a big company, then I'll not be able to do it alone, right?
Hmm.
I need someone to bounce off ideas, you know, because if you ask any entrepreneur or a CEO who's independent, it's very lonely at the top, right? It's very lonely. So we said, I need someone like a friend or someone, you know, who has complementary skills,
Skills.
right? I am good at restaurant. I am good at creating a product, operations, or running a restaurant. But I also look at making this brand a global brand. Vision था, and a vision is always good. भले बने या नहीं बने. But
Huh.
जो भी आप करो, as I said, if you're investing your time, you have to think brand becomes very big that it survives you.
Huh.
And that is the time during that phase, I had a very good friend called Chirag Chajar. He's my school friend, not from this line. He's from a very different textile industry. He has offices in China for his textile, and China also is one of the kitchen equipment ka hub.
Okay.
That is when I said, let me go to China with you, and I'll do my own thing, kitchen ka equipment is just for an understanding, right? When you
Huh.
with your when with your family business, you have time also with yourself.
Huh.
So when I went there and I saw, you know, the work ethics of Chirag, you know, his commitment to his work, you know, and I said, and that is the time he asked me or he floated the idea, why not do something together? Because who wouldn't want to diversify?
Huh.
And I said, I have this concept. I've been doing थोड़े fun and fairs में इधर उधर और अच्छा जा रहा है. So maybe we can do this together. And just over a cup of coffee at one of the cafes in Mumbai, you know, we said, chalo, let's form a company and let's start this.
अरे
And
वाह.
within a year, we got formed a company, a private limited company from the day one. We got team together. We started doing a lot of trials with my mother, my aunt, who were very instrumental in making the recipes. And we found a place in south of Mumbai at Kalakoda Fort. And that is when in 9th May 2019, 2014, we started our first Burma Burma.
Nice. Nice. This is uh really interesting. So you joined Taj in 2008, right?
Correct.
Oh, so the attack also was in 2008 only.
Yes. So in my joining and within, I joined in the month of July, and I think the unfortunate attack, it happened in the month of November 26th.
26 को. So
Right.
like you were there at the location or
Yes. So I was part of Taj. I was deputed to a restaurant called Golden Dragon. It's a Chinese restaurant where I was doing my training, which was completely gutted. पूरा खत्म हो गया था in the 26th level. But I had taken a sick leave on that day. So I worked 3 years in Taj, and I have taken just couple of sick leaves. And the first sick leave happened to be, it's slightly suspicious, but people say, but and
no.
that too I called in sick. You know, I told K I'm feeling little uneasy because one of my best friends, his birthday was there the previous night.
Huh.
So we got late. I got up slightly late, and I said, थोड़ा लेट हो जाएगा मुझे आ जाने में. So my manager that time said, "Okay, why don't you shift your off to another day and you take your off completely?" So that is, you know, the story of that. But I mean, was quite challenging. Was very tough to, you know,
Hmm.
hear, see, you know, and I think, you know, it took us 2 3 months for us to really come to terms with, you know, the what had happened, you know, to really grieve, you know, of the people, so many brave people, some near and dear ones who had lost lives. And I think what I look back from now, as a company also and us also, we came out stronger from that.
Hmm. Hmm. Right. This is true because I was just going to ask you that only, that how do you guys recovered from it, and that okay, whatever happens for a reason. It's okay. Okay, fine. It was a bad event for us, very unfortunate event. But how, as an organization, then what are some of the changes that made and you guys overcame from it? Because you were there till 2010, 11, so you were much a part of a process, you know,
Right.
of coming back from that 26/11 attack.
So we were in constant touch with the different levels of management. We were getting constant feed of the status of what's happening. I think 6, 7 days after the siege, of course, the hotel was shut for 2, 3 months for, rebuilding itself, construction wise and other reasons. So we were asked to report to a different Taj hotel, Taj President, where we did 2, 3 months, of our job. And once the original Taj reopened, then we were again sent back to that place. There was a lot of Taj has a very robust L&D program, learning and development, one of the best I think in the country. And they are very conscious also of the fact that people go through so much. So they had a lot of counseling sessions for everyone. They had like musical counseling, sound healing, what they say, for all sessions, one-to-one session, a lot of sensitizing workshops that they had for everyone. Uh, you know, there was a memorial which was erected, to pay your last respects to, the ones who had succumbed. Uh, so, I mean, it was quite a serious uh, event which had happened, but as I said, we came out stronger because of the efforts what even the company put by addressing our internal emotional issues regarding that. So it was quite moving, but I think gradually humankind is such, we I think
Hmm.
really came back stronger.
Mm, right. It's good to hear that, they did this music healing and one-on-one sessions and all those things for, all the employees of the company. It's good to
Right.
hear that. So so now as you said, ki it is from Tata Group, and they always, money is byproduct for them. Other things are always come first, like in service and serving people in a good way, their employees and customers as well. Yeah,
Right.
true. So, uh, how you evolved emotionally after that event? How you evolved? What are some of the things that you learned from that?
Uh, what we learned is that when you're in adversity, or कभी आप खराब वक्त हो या कोई ऐसी हादसा हो जाता है, इवेंट हो जाता है, तो you have to just you know uh, firstly experience it, not to neglect it, whatever is happening, understand it, and उससे उभर के आपको then just be in a positive frame of mind and see all the positive things that you could do to come out of it. So this is what I learned. I came out emotionally, I think, slightly stronger from that. Uh, and also, I learned the value of human lives, right?
Mm,
Uh, I mean, we think every day that, we are immortals, but we all have, talking slightly philosophical, we
mm,
all have a certain time frame, right? And what we try to neglect the most is we are again sucked into the capital world and the materialistic world, which gives us happiness. But what we forget is, the human to human contact, right? So this is what I learned, that it's everything about the team, guest first, everything else. That is one of the motto of our company,
huh,
right? And even internally, we say team members are your employees, they are first, and everything else they should be comforted. So
mm,
people's being a people's organization is, I think, one of the values that we learned from Tatas,
mm,
and we have tried to incorporate that, from the day one. So we even have, I'll tell you, one of the biggest things what we try to incorporate is our CSR initiatives, right? Tata, as you are well aware, that is 60 to 68% of the revenues what they earn is again given back to the society in form of a charity, in form of a foundation, funding of a foundation or hospitals.
Hmm.
No one does that. No one does that. It's very so it was deeply, it was like a DNA of Tata. कि उन्हें तो करना ही है ये लोगों के लिए upliftment. There should not be disparity of the rich and poor. So even for us, in our own little way, from the day one, we feel that we only get what we give. We can't say यार हमें ये दे दो वो दे दो ये कर दो वो रेस्टोरेंट खोल दो 10 रेस्टोरेंट कर दो तो there's no end, right?
Huh.
So we do ensure that even our society, our immediate environment, and the needy people, affected people also are, we do try to contribute in our own little way throughout. We've had so many events at the outlet, different outlets pan India, so many NGOs that we've worked with. We've undertaken a groundwater extraction program, even in Burma, on the village outskirts of Yangon. Fresh. There are 400 people every day who are benefited from that groundwater treatment. So we've done three of those plants we made in Burma.
Hmm.
So these are, I think, one of the values to stay with us.
Hmm. This is uh these are some of the things that which very eye opening for me, and I am also learning a lot as you are saying this thing, because you're the first ever person I have ever met who were like, in a way, as a part of recovering from that 2611 or somewhere working at Taj. You're the first person that I'm talking to in my life who has worked there, and during that period of time. And I think everything happens for a reason कि जो वो ट्रेड सेंटर के वक्त भी ये जो बोला जाता है ना कि बहुत सारे लोग they were in traffic in New York and they were
Hmm.
cribbing about it. In one of the
Hmm.
documentaries, one of the I said कि one of the survivor, that she said that I was just like I was crying in a car, or I was just screaming in car that oh my god, the traffic of New York and I'm going late, मुझे बॉस बोलेगा वो सब ऐसा करके, and then just she reached there and building fell off, all those things. So कोई कोई बार ऐसी चीजें, मतलब जो भी आप, you have to be grateful about your life, like as you said कि आपको आज में रहना पड़ेगा, whatever you right now you have is for good only. Yeah, true. So
They say that we plan and God laughs, right?
true. True. So मतलब स्पॉन्टेनिटी लाइफ में होनी चाहिए मेरे हिसाब से, तो बाकी अगर आप बहुत ज्यादा प्लान करके रखते तो इट बिकम्स काइंड ऑफ रिजिड एज वेल। वो फिर
Hmm.
आपका जो फन चाहिए ऑन अ डे टू डे बेसिस, वो कहीं ना कहीं पे चला जाता है, बिकॉज यू आर चेजिंग दैट गोल दैट यू हैव इमेजिन
Right,
in the
right,
back of your mind. Yeah.
right,
So now I want to come to this. You guys have opted for company owned, company operated model, right? You didn't
right.
go in the way of franchisee. So now, and also I did a podcast with 99 Pancakes founder Vikesh Shah, and he told me that we did a mistake by giving away franchises and going into that route, FOFO model, or I think FIFO or FOFO model, and that's it. We are now going to Coco model, which is company owned, company operated, and now whatever stores they are going to open, they have also raised funds, I think, uh, and they are going to take this kind of route. I want to know your perspective on like why company owned, company operated is better than franchisee owned, franchisee operated model.
Right. So let me break it down into three, four parts, right? Let's break the restaurant industry into three parts, right?
Huh.
One is your premium luxury dining, बहुत extremely luxury five-star होटल जैसे होते हैं, इसके अंदर जो रेस्टोरेंट्स होते हैं, राइट? फिर आपका आ गया कैजुअल डाइनिंग रेस्टोरेंट, जो कैफे हो गया, कैजुअल डाइनिंग हो गया, मतलब ऐसे थोड़े प्रोसेसेस होते हैं, थोड़ा ऑटोमेटेड होते हैं, राइट? और फास्ट फूड रेस्टोरेंट भी उसमें आ गया। फिर आपका आ गया लास्ट कैटेगरी हो गया QSR, राइट? QSR is where एक कोई बड़ा फैसिलिटी में सब खाना बनता है और बस छोटे छोटे ऐसे यूनिट्स रहते हैं, वहां पे वहां मेन यूनिट से खाना बन के जाता है और वहां पे खाली सेल होता है, राइट?
हाँ.
तो ये तीन मैं कैटेगरी करता हूँ, राइट? अभी आप देखोगे companies who have been able to successfully franchise are not the first category premium restaurants, are
Mm.
not the second category also, right? Which is your casual dining restaurants, but are the QSR category. आप सबवे ले लो, right? दूसरे ले लो. Why? Because उनका जो मेन प्रोडक्ट है, राइट, वो पूरा एक सेंट्रल किचन में बनता है. तो क्वालिटी और प्रोसेसेस आर ऑलरेडी सेट बाय द पेरेंट कंपनी. देन दे स्टार्ट टू गिव आउट स्मॉल स्मॉल यूनिट्स वेयर उनको खाली बेचना है वो सामान. तो मेंटेन होता है और उनके ब्रांड गाइडलाइंस होते हैं. सो आई थिंक इन माय पर्सनल ओपिनियन, वी इन इंडिया रेस्टोरेंट्स आर इन अ वेरी अनऑर्गेनाइज्ड सेक्टर. In fact, we are not even given a industry status by the government, right?
Mm.
There is no Michelin star restaurant even which has come to India because the state of hygiene, licenses, and the category of restaurants, right? So franchise as a formula has not worked in premium restaurants and casual dining, right? Only in the QSR format, it has done very well, and people
Mm.
still do,
Mm.
right? Now I'll come to कैजुअल डाइनिंग एंड प्रीमियम डाइनिंग. वहां पे क्या होता है
So,
और क्यों नहीं चला है,
sorry
राइट?
to cut you off, but just going back to your previous answer, you said कि restaurant industry is very unorganized.
राइट.
Can you go more deeper on that? Why?
रेस्टोरेंट इंडस्ट्री स्टिल अकाउंट्स 80 to 85%, राइट? आप देखोगे स्ट्रीट साइड हॉकर्स हो गए, छोटी मोटी केटरिंग हो गई, इज नॉट अकाउंटेड फॉर, राइट? So it is comes in the unorganized. A lot of
Exactly.
people, not everyone, but earlier a lot of them never used to pay taxes also, right? So it was a service which was given, which was not accounted. So that is the reason it came in the unorganized sector, right?
Mm.
Very few people, it started from five stars, where they started to organize the restaurants, right? Because they needed restaurants in their premises for them to get the five-star tag, right?
Huh.
One needed a coffee shop, one needed two specialty restaurants. That's how they started. उसके बाद in the last 8-10 years, the five-star से restaurant बाहर आने लगे in the high
Huh.
street,
Huh.
and big chains started to open those, right? MNCs came into India. You have the McDonald's, you have the Burger King, right? You have the Domino's, Jubilant Food. They started to come to India, and they come from an organized place where already उनके SOPs बने हुए हैं, हर processes के हर एक चीज के वो है. So when they set up their offices, sent team members from UK and US, so that's how it became easy for them to replicate that, right?
Hmm.
So this is how the ecosystem of restaurants work there. In fine dining and casual dining, franchise, answering your question, has not been a success is because it is very difficult for others to have the same passion what you have. If I franchise Burma Burma, I have a passion, I have a story, I'll run it in some way. If I give it to someone else to run it, ही में से नहीं यार, ये तो शायद से चल नहीं रहा है, नॉन वेज नहीं है, अल्कोहल नहीं है, अरे मैंने इतना पैसा डाल दिया है इधर, 2-3 करोड़ डाल दिया है. तो दे स्टार्ट टू पैनिक एंड दे सेड कि यार चलो इसको थोड़ा मल्टी क्विजीन डाल देते हैं, सुशी भी डाल देते हैं, डिमसम भी डाल देते हैं. तो व्हाट हैपेंस, योर ब्रांड वैल्यू ऑन विच यू आर बिल्ड स्टार्ट्स टू गेट डिमिनिश्ड,
Diminished, right?
राइट? तो वो फिर कस्टमर सोचेंगे, गेस्ट सोचेंगे यार आपके इधर अलग मिल रहा है, वहां पे कोई अलग दे रहा है, तो देन आई विल से नहीं वो फ्रेंचाइज का है, ये ओनर ड्रिवन है. तो ये सब प्रॉब्लम्स होने लगी लास्ट 8-10 years में, राइट? पीपल नेवर यूज टू मेंटेन दैट फिलोसफी, राइट? एंड ऑल्सो franchise is something you need to be franchise ready. Just having a good product does not mean that someone else could run it the same way. You need to support. You keep charging a fee,
Huh.
right? You need
Huh.
to have a proper Bible of SOPs, processes, videos, what to do, what to not to do, company policy, training your team members. Matlab, and then only it's a proper like McDonald's when they came to India. So they also franchise, but they choose one partner to open outlets, not individual outlets.
हाँ.
Westlife, oh yeah, that's why they've been successful, right? So they had like a good 5,000 page ka booklet, and you have to follow that Bible to the T. Then only you can open franchise of take a franchise of McDonald's. Same thing with Tata, which they did with Starbucks.
Hmm.
So as you said, franchise-owned company operated model is also which is doing well, wherein the franchise has put in the money, but the management is done by the company, parent company.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that model has started to take place in the premium and casual dining restaurant because you're assured of the quality of service that will be given. Yeah. And in the lower QSR segment, you do have restaurants franchising only if they have a good SOP manual.
Hmm. Hmm. Right. And I was just going through franchise India or वो सब में, so there were names that I haven't even heard of.
Right.
और वैसे brands, they are franchising just for increasing their revenue, और वो आपको एक आपकी franchisee fee मिल जाती है, and there are some of the brands was just they just want to put more and more outlet, they don't care about the brand, बस मेरा ब्रांड दिखना चाहिए, तुम एक एक ही किलोमीटर के अंदर 5 कर दो, वो चलेगा मुझे, क्योंकि इन बड़ौदा ऑल्सो देयर इज वन ब्रांड इन द बेवरेज इंडस्ट्री, they have like their franchisee in every kilometer they have 1 or 2 stores. I'm like, तो मतलब ही क्या रहा, तो फिर ये तो फिर आप फिर ये पैसा छापने के लिए ही आप ये कर रहे हो.
100%. You get so excited by getting that franchise fee.
हाँ,
मतलब
हाँ.
यार ये तो खाली नाम देने का यार लोग 20 लाख 25 लाख दे रहे हैं और हर महीने का आपको मैनेजमेंट फी मिल रहा है इससे अच्छी चीज क्या है तो दो जो आ रहा है तो एवरी थर्ड डे यू आर गेटिंग 25 लाख बट दे आर नॉट रियलाइजिंग एज यू राइटली सेड सर इज
हाँ.
दैट दे आर कैनिबलाइजिंग देयर ओन बिजनेस आप
हम्म.
एशियन को फ्रेंचाइज दे दिए वो कर रहा है समझो लाख रुपया का सेल अब वही एरिया में 5 जन का दे दिया वो लाख रुपया वाला सीधा 20,000 पे आ गया और लॉस करने लग गया राइट
हम्म.
और फिर बोलता है सर मेरा चल नहीं रहा है वो बाकी चार भी नहीं चल रहे और फिर वो कंपनी उसकी बंदी हो जाती है
Right. That's where the thing that you said कि आपका ब्रांड सर्वाइव करना चाहिए ओवर द इयर्स, एंड दिस इज वन ऑफ द वे कि जहाँ पे आपका ब्रांड सर्वाइव नहीं करेगा, एंड लाइक इन शॉर्ट टर्म यू आर सीइंग दोस गेन्स कि ऑन अपना अपना बैलेंस शीट और उसके ऊपर आपके नंबर्स अच्छे दिख रहे हैं आपको, बट इन द लॉन्ग रन इट विल गेट डिप्लेटेड, वो डाउनवर्ड कर्व ही आप उसके अंदर आप जा रहे हो.
right just to
राइट.
add to that if you see in the last 4 5 years the brands the ones who have really scaled across आप वाव मोमो की ले लो स्टोरी राइट आप ये मैकडोनल्ड्स और ये भी ले लो दे आर नॉट फ्रेंचाइज there's
हाँ.
a one Indian partner who opens everything for them. It's not different owners.
हाँ.
So brands that have scaled in India are the ones where they do it themselves, right? So this is
हम्म.
something which one should consider.
या सो मुझे इसके अराउंड ही एक क्वेश्चन भी था कि वेन एवर यू सी अ रेस्टोरेंट चेन दैट इज अक्रॉस इंडिया, और जो एक स्केलेबल बिजनेस बनता है, आई हैव नॉट सीन एनी मल्टी क्यूजिन रेस्टोरेंट इन इन माय पर्सनल ओपिनियन, आई हैव नॉट सीन एनीथिंग जो एक मल्टी क्यूजन है और दे आर ऑपरेटिंग इन मल्टीपल सिटीज और वो सब, बट इफ यू आर सर्विंग अ स्पेसिफिक काइंड ऑफ फूड, जैसे बोला कि सबवे है, तो देन आई नो कि मुझे यहाँ पे ये मिलेगा, मैकडॉनल्ड्स है, वाव मोमो हो गया, कुछ भी हो गया, सो दे आर सर्विंग अ पर्टिकुलर काइंड ऑफ फूड, बट व्हाई मल्टी क्यूजिन रेस्टोरेंट्स can't scale as quickly as this restaurants or QSRs which are serving very specific food, या तो फिर restaurants also who are only serving specific food, because I have seen कि अगर आपको स्केल करना है इन फूड वाले धंधे में, तो अगर आपके पास एक स्पेसिफिक फूड होगा तो आप जल्दी से स्केल कर पाओगे, आप धीरे धीरे फटाफट करके. मल्टी क्यूजन में वो डिफिकल्ट हो जाता है, क्यों?
See, multi-cuisine restaurants are the restaurants which are just serving food. There's no
हाँ.
story, there are no particular items, and they have been always in existence since a very long time. हर नेबरहुड में कोई रेस्टोरेंट रहेगा जहाँ लोग फैमिली या बचपन से छोटे से बड़े और उधर जा रहे हो और खा रहे हो और सब खाना मिलता है पास्ता नहीं मिलता है, चाइनीज नहीं मिलता, और वो अभी भी है और अच्छा कर रहे हैं। बट फॉर अ न्यू ब्रांड टू ओपन इन अ डिफरेंट सिटी, ऑलरेडी एग्जिस्ट कर रहा है मल्टी क्यूजिन रेस्टोरेंट, तो आप जब दूसरे सिटी में जाओ तो आपके ओवरहेड्स भी बढ़ जाते हैं, यू आर नॉट एबल टू मैच दैट, राइट? तो
हम्म
दैट्स व्हाई इट डजंट. So till 2010-11, multi-cuisine restaurants were the only restaurants which were there. And आपको single cuisine restaurant Chinese just आया था, Mexican थोड़ा था, Middle Eastern थोड़ा थोड़ा था, Italian थे थोड़े, right? But they are, I feel, jack of all. मतलब हर चीज उन लोग अच्छा करते, but ऐसा कोई एक चीज में मास्टर नहीं.
हम्म
फिर from 2011, the entire landscape changed, wherein you had chefs, you had owners who lived in certain countries who wanted to come here and said, I will serve one cuisine, but I will do that one cuisine very well, rather than having 100 items on the menu. The
हाँ
guest also said, नहीं यार, अगर Japanese खाना है तो we have to go to this place because they have a story, they get the ingredients from Japan,
राइट
and I believe in that. I don't want to just go to any place. I won't go to a Indian restaurant or Italian and have Japanese because खाली खाने के लिए आप खा रहे हो, right?
हाँ
And it's hard earned money, so people when they go out they want to ensure that it's at the right place.
हम्म
So from 2011 I have seen till to now how the landscape has changed. Sushis have taken over dim sums, right? Japanese
हम्म
is very common for a family to eat.
हम्म
Then you have Burmese, for that matter, people eat that. You have Mexican, you have Middle Eastern. So people have their favorites. Middle Eastern खाना है तो यहाँ जाएंगे, Japanese खाना है तो वहाँ जाएंगे, क्योंकि वो जो खाना बनाते हैं वो authentic है, story है, और थोड़ा और modern है, right? And plus, I tell everyone that when you come to Burma Burma, I want to make the guest feel that they've entered not the restaurant, they've entered the country. They should feel कि वो बर्मा का देश में पहुंच गए.
हाँ
So that is the experiential dining which everyone looks for, and this is why multi-cuisine restaurants are on the decline. Big setups, but still you have the restaurants like Haldiram, Bikaji, which are slightly multi-cuisine, Indian focus, which are strong on processes. It's basically a factory, which are
हाँ
also doing very well because the hygiene is there, price point also is good, and timeliness of service is also there.
हाँ ट्रू और जो चीज आपने बोली ना बिकॉज इट्स वेरी हार्ड एंड मनी फॉर इंडियन पीपल एंड द टू थिंग्स दैट दे स्पेंड मनी ऑन देयर वीकेंड्स आई थिंक एक जो सबका फेवरेट होता है एक मूवी होता है एंड
Right.
फूड लाइक फूड इज आप फूड के बाद कुछ भी करोगे या तो फिर आप फूड के पहले कुछ भी करोगे बट फूड विल बी योर इन योर प्लान इन वीकेंड्स कहीं पे जाके कुछ खाना तो है ही मुझे ऐसा करके and that's where you give a good amount of good experience to your customers. Then I think हाँ true ये
और
मैं
one more thing I wanted to add is, अभी लोग बहुत ट्रैवल भी करने लगे.
हाँ
पहले इतना बाहर कोई जाता नहीं था. मैक्सिमम दुबई चले जाओ, थाईलैंड चले जाओ, इधर आजू बाजू नेपाल चले जाओ, राइट? लंदन चले जाओ, अमेरिका चले जाओ.
हम्म
बट अभी तो ऐसे ऐसे देश लोग जाने लगे हैं, मिडल ईस्ट में, नॉर्थ साउथ अमेरिका में, नॉर्थ अमेरिका, सो दे आर अवेयर.
हम्म
तो पहले एक्सपोजर ही नहीं था. अभी तो अगर आप खोल दो कोई साउथ अमेरिकन का कोई रेस्टोरेंट खोल दो, लोग को मालूम है, तो पीपल विल गो देयर. तो वो भी एक थोड़ा बदलाव है.
Hmm. Hmm. And one of the things which I have seen in myself and around me also as well कि लोग अपने टेस्ट बर्ड्स ओपन करने के लिए या तो फिर कुछ नया खाना एक्सपीरियंस के लिए दे आर नाउ वेरी ओपन टू दैट आइडिया
राइट.
एज वेल कंपेयर टू मैं अपने खुद की ही बात कर लूँ 5-6 साल पहले की आई वॉज नॉट वेरी ओपन टू इट लाइक मतलब हाँ पिज्जा खा लो या ऐसा कुछ कर लो उस
हाँ.
जो सेट ऑफ ऑप्शन है उसमें ही देखो बट नाउ आई कैन ओके चलो कुछ जाके दूसरा भी ट्राई करते हैं आई हैवंट ट्राइड इट येट so I think that's also there. I'm seeing ये मुझे आपसे पूछना था कि how you guys are deciding on cities that you guys are opening जैसे अभी आप अहमदाबाद में खोलने वाले हो you guys are operating in Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore. So how you decide on cities कि ये city में ही खोलेंगे? Did you guys do some research on that particular front or uh, how you decide that?
So when we opened Mumbai, we ran it for 2 years,
हाँ
and then in the second year, हमें 2 साल टाइम लगा प्रोडक्ट को थोड़ा और फाइन ट्यून करने में, थोड़ा और इवॉल्व करने में, राइट. वी आर वेरी रिसेप्टिव टू द फीडबैक, राइट.
हाँ
एंड 2 साल के बाद वी गॉट अ अपॉर्चुनिटी फ्रॉम गुड़गांव साइबर हब. द
हाँ
टीम हैड विजिटेड मुंबई, दे हैड विजिटेड 18-20 रेस्टोरेंट्स. उनका एक बहुत अच्छा असेट है साइबर हब करके. रेसिडेंसेस है, टेक पार्क है, फॉर्च्यून 500 के 200 कंपनीज वहां है, और उसके बीच में उनका एक रेस्टोरेंट हब है. तो ये अपॉर्चुनिटी आप कैसे छोड़ो? तो आप जैसे बताओ, या तो हम फ्रेंचाइज कर देते या खुद खोल देते. फिर हम सोचे फ्रेंचाइज क्यों करना है, इट्स डिफिकल्ट. आपको शिफ्ट होना है, बट ये आपको मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी. द रीजन इज बिकॉज एमएनसीज फ्रॉम जर्मनी, अमेरिका, other places are coming and opening their offices across the world. Why
हम्म
are we different? We
हम्म
can also attempt.
हम्म
So we said, okay, let's not go the franchise route. We'll shift our base and open one in a different city.
right
Why we chose Gurgaon is that anytime we choose a city, we look at the population size, right? And the income level, what usually people have. And
okay
we prefer to open in a place where there are cluster of restaurants because they all help each other out. एक market बन जाता है, destination बन जाता है लोग को आने के लिए and खाने के लिए. गुड़गांव, Delhi, Noida, Bangalore, Kolkata, Hyderabad now ticked all the boxes. Population of more than 1 crore, high spending power, high migrant population, corporate crowd culture is there. So I thought, we should open there. And before opening, we do two exercises. Ek to, from our friends and family, we try to know what is the revenue, what other restaurants are doing, which
हम्म
are there in those cities. So हमें idea लग जाता है कि यार ये business कर रहे हैं. We may also be able to pull that off, right?
हाँ
सेकेंड चीज हम जो क्या करते हैं, उधर एक पहले पॉपअप रख देते हैं, छोटा सा कियोस्क या कोई एग्जीबिशन में एक छोटा काउंटर रख देते हैं बोमा बोमा को, टू जस्ट सी व्हाट पीपल आर टॉकिंग. Are
हम्म
people eating it? So it gives us a feeler. You cannot be 100% right. There are cities where you can fail also, which is part of business. So these are the two, three things we see: market size, spending power, corporate crowd hai ki nahi hai, and we decide on a city.
राइट इन ट्रू सो जब पेंडेमिक आया पेंडेमिक वाला टाइम इट वाज वेरी हार्ड फॉर स्पेशली रेस्टोरेंट इंडस्ट्री lot of restaurants got shut down in that period so what are some of the good things that happened to you क्योंकि बुरी चीज तो बहुत हुई होगी but what are some of the good things also happened during that time जो आप लोगों को लगा कि नहीं अच्छा हुआ कि पेंडेमिक की वजह से हमें ये सीखने को मिला and what were some of the challenges that you guys faced
Let me talk about the good things first. The good thing was we all got a much needed break
हाँ
to spend time with the family. It cleared our head. Of course, 5-6 days, it was troublesome to hear what's happening. There was fear, anxiety, but after that, how much will you worry, right? Then you start to relax, work on yourself, read in gym. So I think the entire team, we were more connected because
हाँ
we all were in that problem. Uh, we are in constant touch with the team members, our vendors, our landlords. The another good thing is it gave us the time to reflect back on our offering. हम जो काम करते थे, खाना देते थे, हम सोचे यार अभी हमारे पास टाइम है, तो let's do some R&D. So without wasting any time, the entire team started to do R&D of how we can improve our products.
हम्म
Not only that, what we said is that different avenues of sales we opened. One is the delivery. We started to sell all our products from a website. बिकॉज जब आप जोमेटो स्विगी से आप खाना आप देते हो, आपको कस्टमर का डेटा, उनके इंसाइट्स नहीं मालूम पड़ते हैं. बिकॉज ऑफ दिस वी हैव अ डेटा ऑफ अ लॉट ऑफ गेस्ट फ्रॉम आवर वेबसाइट, which had helped us to really, look at more dishes that we can introduce later on.
हाँ हाँ
One of the most important things which happened is we started one more vertical within Burma Burma, which is your FMCG, D2C products. 9 food products we launched. Ready to eat khause packet, lotus stem chips, hot sauce within in this lockdown. ये पॉसिबल नहीं होता अगर लॉकडाउन नहीं आता. हम सोचे कि गेस्ट तो आ नहीं रहे, रेस्टोरेंट बंद है, हम लोग क्या ऐसा कर सकते हैं कि वेयर द रेस्टोरेंट गोज टू एवरीवन्स होम, राइट? डिलीवरी से तो आप खाली 10-12 किलोमीटर का रेडियस कवर कर सकते हो, बट जो दूर रहते हैं एंड दे आर मिसिंग बर्मा बर्मा एंड वी नीड आल्सो सम मोर वर्टिकल रेवेन्यू टू सपोर्ट अस.
हाँ.
So this is something which we incorporated within
Hmm.
lockdown.
Hmm.
So these are some of the positives. Challenges, so I mean, definitely it was a very, very tough time because we were on the cusp of opening our flagship outlet in Calcutta, and that is the time COVID happened. So we
Hmm.
were really stuck financially. Uh, the pressure, and everyone was facing financial problems, right?
Right.
Be it the vendor, be it the landlord, to see the pressure, and be it even our team members. अगर आपका धंधा ही बंद हो गया है,
हाँ.
you cannot sustain 350, 400 team members over 6, 6, 7 months. We were not a funded company, and even if you're a funded company, not necessarily the fund will allow you to, put in that much money. We are not a listed company. We don't have reserves of crores of rupees. We are a bootstrap company. We were. So to manage all of that, all supported, I would say, the landlord, the team members, the vendors, and that is the reason I think we were able to come out with a better product, with a more vertical and a more connected team.
Hmm.
So these are, I think, some of the three key takeaways from the lockdown.
So like now in last year, आपका like what were your earnings of last year? How much revenue guys you made?
So this year, 23 financial year, we closed at roughly around 50 crore turnover.
Okay. And before that, from what was the.
Before, yes, so we have after the Kolkata outlet, we've not done any openings now. So before that, we had a turnover of around 37 crores. Before that, we had 34, 35 crores. So in our case, our outlet opening directly impacts the turnover. It's as
Hmm.
simple as that.
Hmm.
आप आउटलेट जितने खोल दो उतना आपका
उतना आपका
टर्नओवर बढ़ता रहेगा
बढ़ता
बिकॉज
है.
हर आउटलेट की भी कैपेसिटी है.
हाँ.
आप 1 लाख से सडनली नेक्स्ट ईयर 2 लाख सेल नहीं कर सकते बिकॉज सीट्स तो उतनी है. रेट
हाँ.
भी आप कितना बढ़ा सकते हो, राइट?
हाँ.
या
So, and now D2C is picking up the 9 products that you mentioned. Like how much percentage of revenue coming from that?
इट्स वेरी वेरी मार्जिनल,
हाँ.
very very nominal, I would say. And we don't want it to be a burn model, right? If you see a lot of D2C brands, they don't survive, right? For us, we look at D2C as an addition,
Hmm.
as a way to market Burma Burma. And
हाँ.
also, we have a long term vision with this
हाँ.
because we every 7, 8 months we keep launching new products via this. So we just launched our ice creams which you can buy online, right? So it is something which is an addition, but it's very, very nominal to the sales what we do. And we want it to be a profitable vertical in itself. We don't want to burn money on ads and a lot of things and divert our focus. We are a restaurant brand, Burma Burma, and our focus will always be this. And whatever the popular items are there from Burma Burma restaurant, we'll try to ensure that we make products out of it in D2C so that people can take it with them.
Right. And why you guys launched the ice cream products for D2C? Like, have you guys noticed some of the from the insights कि ये शायद से चल जाएगा?
So for us, we make a lot of things in limited batches and small
हाँ.
batches. It's not a factory setup.
हाँ.
We have a small unit. When the order comes, we make very limited inventory so that fresh भी रहे product और wastage भी आपका नहीं, right?
तो मतलब
I
आपका जो खाना बनता है वो कहाँ पे, मतलब जो पूरी प्रिपरेशन होती है वो.
तो हमारा एक अलग से यूनिट है. We have a food technologist separately. There's a separate ecosystem because
ओके.
it's food. आप खाना अंदर ले रहे हो, right? It has to be
हाँ.
in the best hygienic conditions with the right compliances. तो हमारा एक अलग यूनिट है जब हम ये बनाते हैं, हम कुछ ट्रायल एंड एरर करना है, रिसर्च करना है, वहां हम करते हैं. So that unit only does this, and I have very, very positive, outlook on the D2C segment in the next 3, 4 years.
Hmm.
Because slowly, I'm venturing into some retail stores also. We don't want to really spread ourselves too wide and thin because a lot of them they charge commissions of 40, 50%, and it's not a viable model in the long run.
हाँ.
So we want it to be a profitable. So step by step we are growing it.
राइट. एंड जो अभी अगर आपने आइसक्रीम चालू किया है, सो यू हैव टू क्रैक दैट कोल्ड स्टोरेज वाला थिंग एज वेल. सो हाउ
Right.
यू गाइस आर मैनेजिंग दैट?
So what we do is we ship it from the restaurants, and it's only available in the city where Burma Burma is.
हम्म.
So if you're ordering from Gujarat, it will not reach you.
हम्म.
But if you're in Mumbai, we are almost there in 9 states right now, 9 cities, and
हाँ.
covered most of the main cities, right? So, and that is the place where people who experience eaten that ice cream at the restaurant, they would want to take it at home. So up till 20 kilometer radius, we ship it. We have our own V fast या डंजो से हम लोग जब ऑर्डर आता है अगले दिन उसको या सेम डे 6 बजे के पहले ऑर्डर आया तो सेम डे हम लोग शिप कर देते
राइट. और ऑन एंड अराउंड आपके जो प्रोडक्ट्स होते हैं लाइक वेजिटेबल्स एज वेल, आई थिंक पेरिशेबिलिटी उनकी क्या रहती है कि वी हैव टू क्लियर द लॉट इन दिस अमाउंट ऑफ डेज की ये जो हम लोग लाए अभी वो क्लियर कर देना पड़ेगा?
हैं. We have our own internal food inspector who's
ओके.
a team member. There are temperature checkpoints. There are ways to store all the food products. So we have a complete hygiene, food handling and storage SOP book. Uh, so much so that we don't even open all day. We are open only from 12 to 3 and then 6:30 to 10:30. We are
हम्म.
shut in the how much ever busy it is, we are shut in the between because we don't want to use जो सुबह 8 बजे या 9 बजे का जो लंच के लिए आपने इंग्रेडिएंट बनाया है वो आप रात को 10 बजे की सर्व करो.
हम्म.
And Asian food is all about freshness,
हाँ.
right? So we shut it. We let the place थोड़ा आराम मिले, team members को भी थोड़ा आराम मिले, and then we again start by 6:30 by making the fresh batch of ingredients and vegetables. So that
राइट.
way इतना wastage भी नहीं होता है और fresh भी रहता
Hmm. Hmm. Right. So, you said like 50 crore. 50 crore is a very commendable number, I think. Being in the brick and mortar वाला मॉडल के अंदर जहाँ पे आपका मेजर रेवेन्यू आपके रेस्टोरेंट से आ रहा है, जैसे आपने बोला. So like how you guys are spending that on marketing? Marketing किस हिसाब से हो रही है? Like on what front हो रही है?
है. We have a very, very robust marketing engine. And still, our marketing budget is still just 2.5 to 3% of our total revenue.
Okay.
Ideally, what they say is anywhere it should be 4 to 5%, right?
हाँ.
So we are still within the budget,
Within budget, yeah.
and it gives us a good amount of financial ammunition to market the way we want. How we market is there are different, we have a brand head of the company. We extensively do our marketing amongst different mediums. So we have Zomato, which is your number one, Swiggy, number one, number two food aggregators of India. So we do have a visibility on those platforms. We have our own in-house performance marketing team. So आप देखोगे कभी Google ad, Facebook ads, phone पे आते हैं. So you see Burma Burma popping up there, right? You have uh, we have a ecosystem of PR agency, PR consultant. We work with so many magazines, right? Uh, just to ensure कि आपका जो Burma Burma है, वो people talk about it. We do events, we do influencer, we do gifting, right? So these are the kind of hygiene and best practices we do round the year. It's a continuous job.
Hmm.
भले business कितना भी आ रहा है, that's okay. But I think the value of the brand is more than the business, I feel.
Hmm.
So marketing and the what way of marketing, the positioning is very, very important. So
Hmm.
we put a lot of time, effort, and energy to ensure that, you know, we are relevant with so many restaurants. That Burma Burma should be relevant.
Right. Or and how do you guys are positioning yourself in the market?
Position ourselves as a modern Burmese restaurant which serves authentic Burmese dishes, right?
Hmm.
So that's how we don't sell our. When we are a restaurant, you come here, you'll get good food and great service. You'll not get casual service, right? So you get a feeling of premium restaurant in a casual setting
Huh.
and premium service. So we are a restaurant uh, out and out. That's how we market ourselves.
And how much percentage of marketing budget is going on social media, or like social media promotions and maintaining the social media of Burma Burma?
So social media, we work with an agency. We have our in-house team member as well. So I mean, the percentage is, if I look at a 50 crore turnover, so it's not only like, it's not beyond, I think 12 to 13 lakh rupees on social media. And then you got the PR, you've got
Huh.
the other marketing collaborations, you've got the events that we keep doing, you know, around the year at different places, some music festivals. So that also comes in the marketing. So not more than 14 to 15 lakhs a year
Hmm.
on
Hmm.
social media alone.
Right. And like now you guys, as you guys are expanding and opening a restaurant in a different cities, then how marketing is changing according to that city कि उसके अराउंड रेलेवेंट लगे, जैसे कि अभी अहमदाबाद में आने वाला है. So how you guys are planning to market Burma Burma in Ahmedabad? So गुजराती लोगों का क्या होता है ना कि they want to go to a restaurant. बहुत ज़्यादा भी प्राइस नहीं होना चाहिए. दे आर रेडी टू पे एज़ वेल. दे आर रेडी टू पे अमाउंट, डिसेंट अमाउंट ऑफ प्राइस है ऐसा कुछ. बट ऑल्सो दे एज़ यू सेड कि दे ऑल्सो प्रेफर मल्टी क्यूजिन के एक जगह पे कुछ मिलना चाहिए, क्योंकि वी यूजुअली प्रेफर टू गो आउट विथ आवर फैमिलीज़ और वो सब. अगर आप मम्मीज़ और वो सब को उनको लेके जाते हैं, so they prefer one kind of food. Our fathers prefer one kind of food. This is the, I have seen in lot of other families as well. So how you guys are planning to market in different cities, especially Ahmedabad हो गया, अभी जो भी नए आउटलेट खुल रहे हैं आपके.
Uh, Basically, we only enter a city when we know that there is a little market, and that we come to know from the guests from those cities visiting the restaurant. A
Hmm.
lot of times we get so many inquiries from the guest and from on our emails that please open in Ahmedabad. I want a franchise in Ahmedabad. So that way we get a rough idea here. We are, I think, we should open in Ahmedabad, right?
Hmm.
Secondly, what we do is we open a good PR agency, the premium PR agency. We get a lot of insights from them. Okay, what works there? Is it influencer marketing? Is it print media? Is it digital media? Is it some like a LBB or Zomato? What do the locals follow? So
हाँ.
then we make a strategy. We make a roadmap of what should be our launch plan.
हाँ.
So as per the city, right? But to our advantage, the food that we serve, right? Ek to is vegetarian, so everyone can enjoy. Even a non-veg can come to our place and enjoy it. So that way, we are a outlet which everyone could come. Plus, a lot of dishes have influences from India. So we've got like a tohu mash with paratha, we have a samosa, we have a something like a lotus stem chips, paos, noodles. और खाउसवे तो लोग वैसे भी पहले भी जानते थे. तो इस हिसाब से क्या है, इट्स इजी बिकॉज पीपल से चलो बर्मा बर्मा चलते, एटलीस्ट खाउसवे तो मिलेगा जो मैं जानता हूँ.
हाँ.
तो उस हिसाब से खाउसवे एज अ डिश इट हैज रियली हेल्प्ड अस in promoting Burma Burma, and insights from the local PR agency also helps
Hmm.
us.
Right. And one thing which I liked about you and the organization, you guys are not, scale fast, move fast, break things, और वो सब वाला culture नहीं है. You guys are going at a very steady rate कि धीरे धीरे growth भी होना ही चाहिए. Definitely you guys want profitability as well, but there is a long term vision attached to it कि हमें ये, अगर हम brand बना रहे हैं then we are making a brand for 20 years, 30 years. ऐसा ऐसा विजन लेके आप चल रहे हो, जो आजकल के ना स्टार्टअप वाले उस टाइम के अंदर में बहुत कम दिखता है. लाइक वी वांट, इफ आई एम आल्सो स्टार्टिंग क्यूएसआर, आई वांट टू स्केल इट लाइक 100 आउटलेट्स इन 2-3 इयर्स. मेरा होने ही चाहिए इंडिया के अंदर. और कहीं ना कहीं पे वो जो एक्सपीरियंस वाला जो फैक्टर आ जाता है वो डाई डाउन हो जाता है उसके अंदर।
बट आई फील हर चीज का एक टाइम होता है, और मार्केट में भी उतना पोटेंशियल होना चाहिए। आप
हाँ।
बॉम्बे में मैं 10 वर्मा वर्मा खोल दूं यार, मार्केट में है ही नहीं उतने लोग, तो ऑफ कोर्स नहीं चलेगा। आप क्या कर लिए स्केल करके, स्केल करके इनफैक्ट आपके 4 रेस्टोरेंट प्रॉफिटेबल है, 5 प्रॉफिटेबल नहीं है, एक ब्रेक इवन है, तो आई मीन व्हाट इज द पॉइंट ऑफ ऑल दैट एफर्ट, राइट?
हम्म।
So I think slowly and steadily one needs to build organizations, outlets. And a lot of people they want to scale fast is because they take funds, outside funding, venture capital funding very early. We took our first round of fund after 9 years of opening. We were bootstrapped,
हाँ।
right? They take at a very early stage, कि हम 100 खोल देंगे, 50 खोल देंगे. It takes time for the markets to develop, for the execution to happen, for your brand to be built, right? There should be fans of your brand. So then it backfires when you have
हम्म।
so many other people in the company
हम्म।
dictating, because they are finance driven, right? Even they have to report return
हाँ।
on their investment.
हम्म।
So then the passion goes away and you're just trying to fight the investors at one point and your operational issues at one point, and that's a common mistake.
हम्म। तो फंडिंग लेने का क्यों सोचा आप लोगों ने? व्हाई नॉट कंटिन्यूइंग इन बूटस्ट्रैप?
Funding also, we took for a significant minority stake. We saw a great partner, whoever our current investors, their visions were aligned. Uh, and we realized that, you know, we've already made our foundation and base work strong. We now cannot wait for 4 years to open one outlet, right?
हाँ।
And we are ready to take Burma Burma to next level, right? And we saw India, maybe there are so many opportunities now, right? We didn't want to miss out on that because
हम्म।
very few good real estate places are there. So we wanted to capitalize on that, and we wanted a good partner to be with us on the journey. So that's why we realized that, uh, why not, you know, uh, and to with the fund that we've taken, we're going to double our portfolio within a year's time. You
हम्म।
know, it's only great for the ecosystem. More guests would be able to enjoy Burma Burma. There are more employment opportunities in the company. For so many new employment opportunities will come for the people,
राइट।
and your brand value will only grow. So there was no downside to it. So that's the reason we thought that let's try
हाँ।
to, you know, test this.
Yes, makes sense actually. And how many outlet you guys are opening in this year?
So currently we have 6. With the fundraise that we've taken, it's only for growth capital.
हाँ।
Uh, we are planning to open 7 outlets. 4 are already on its way to open. Two will open. One is opening next week in Bangalore. One in Hyderabad next month. Two are opening in June, July. One more in Bangalore and one in Ahmedabad. And we are in final discussions to close 2 outlets, one in Chandigarh and one in Bombay. So 7 outlets will be operational, I think, by
So अभी
the end of this financial year.
बैंगलोर एंड बॉम्बे में दो दो आउटलेट्स हो जाएंगे?
बैंगलोर में 3 हो जाएंगे. बैंगलोर में
बैंगलोर में
ऑलरेडी वी
तो।
हैव 1 एंड वी आर
ओके।
ओपनिंग 2 मोर. और
ओके।
बॉम्बे में 2 हो जाएंगे.
राइट। कूल, इंटरेस्टिंग, सो इंटरेस्टिंग टाइम्स अहेड फॉर यू।
Yes, we are all very, very excited.
हाँ। और आपका कंपटीशन कोई नहीं है क्या अभी?
अनफॉर्चुनेटली कोई नहीं है हमारा
हाँ।
कंपटीशन. हमें 9 साल हो गए, बट हमारे जो स्केल ऑर्गेनाइज्ड में और थोड़े छोटे मोटे स्मॉल है बर्मीज stalls या kiosks या delivery places. Uh, there are 1 2 restaurants also which are very good. In Goa is there, in Delhi is there, but not in the scale in which we are, the
हम्म।
format which we are, which is concerning for us is because when you have more Burmese restaurants which open, एक पूरा cuisine market होता है, gets promoted. और अगर सब और अभी कोई भी हम नई सिटी में जाते हैं तो हमें ही एक पूरा उसका R&D एनालिसिस करना
फ्रॉम
पड़ता है।
स्क्रैच, हाँ।
कि चलेगा नहीं चलेगा, लोग है नहीं है, बर्मा वर्मा आएगा नहीं आए। कोई दूसरा अगर होता है तो मेक्स आवर लाइफ इजियर, राइट?
Great. Thank you so much, Ankit, for giving your time. I really had a good time, और रेस्टोरेंट इंडस्ट्री के बारे में और ज़्यादा जान के ना अभी ऐसा लगता है कि अच्छा, हाँ, इट्स अ टफ यू नो बिजनेस टू बी इन, बिकॉज जैसे आपने भी वैसे बोला ही हुआ है कि रेस्टोरेंट चालू कर देना, चलाना, उसको सस्टेन करना इज क्वाइट डिफिकल्ट, you have to survive your brand for years, and I think you are doing a great job with Burma Burma.
Thank you, Utsav.
Yes.
Was lovely being, on this platform, sharing little bit world of mind, with all the listeners and the viewers of the beautiful country of Burma. How to
Hmm.
start a bootstrap restaurant, and take it to different cities. It's the best time to be in India. I say to everyone, the discretionary income, itna population hai, with India is really developing at a extremely fast pace,
First place.
lightning fast pace, I would say, so good to be a part of that journey,
Hmm.
even now as we speak, and hopefully uh, wish to see serve all the viewers and listeners at Burma Burma across the country and including you.
Yes, for sure. Uh, I hope you guys also enjoyed this episode. If you do so, then please make sure you subscribe to our channel and share this episode with your friends. And also, I am going to link Burma Burma and Ankit's social media handles on the description, so you can go and check out them and do give them a follow as well. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining in.
Thank you so much.
सो दैट्स द एंड ऑफ दिस पॉडकास्ट एपिसोड। अगर आपको ये एपिसोड अच्छा लगा हो, आपको कुछ वैल्यू मिली हो, आपको कुछ नया जानने को मिला हो इस एपिसोड में से, देन मेक श्योर यू हिट दैट लाइक बटन एंड शेयर दिस एपिसोड as much as you can, especially with your friends who has particular kind of interest in this kind of topics. And lastly, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much.